This is my 2001 Chevy Camaro that I just picked up for $250. The reason I got it so cheap is because the guy said it's overheating, and obviously it is. It has a bad upper intake manifold gasket to it. I've looked on the internet and cannot find any kind of repair manuals, or, well, I can find the repair manuals but no videos for this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a video on how to replace the upper and lower intake manifold gasket on this 2001 Chevy Camaro. I'll go ahead and start it up and let you see exactly what it's doing. This will be a quick tutorial on how to take everything apart and put it back together. So let's pop the hood and just show you a diagnosis of what it's doing. It's spewing out water everywhere. Some people may have just a less pronounced leak up by the front that's driving you crazy, and it's coming right behind the alternator. So I don't have any water mixing in with the oil. That's good, and the engine runs great. It's just the thing leaks, so no big deal. I'll replace it, and then I'll put a quick paint job on this thing and drive it as is. So let's pop the hood and see what we're into. Okay, maybe you can see in here. You can see where the thing is shooting out water. I'm not too concerned about this little bit of water and everything, but it is the upper intake manifold. I'll shut this thing off. As you can see, it's dripping down there pretty good now. Yep. Just spraying out water from behind the alternator. I'll turn this thing off and that does not look fun. So I'm going to let this thing cool off and do a step-by-step. I'm going to take out the serpentine belts first, and all the accessory parts that go to this upper intake, and then I'll work on the bottom intake by taking out the injector rails and all that good stuff. But as you can see, it's steaming out there pretty good. Whoever had it before me decided that it'd be a good idea to put some of that block seal or sealant in there, but that's not a good idea. If you got a leak, just fix it. So that's what we're going to do here. Fix the upper and lower intake on this 2001 Series 2 GM 3.8 liter V6 engine. Alright, so first I'm going to start out by disconnecting all these wires that go to like the TPS and the drive-by-wire system and everything. Right here and up here, the air temperature sensor, and take out this blue clip, pop this out, remove all this, and then I'll get a screwdriver in there and remove these, remove that. I guess I can just leave that on, and remove these, all these plug-ins here. Go ahead and take out the one for the EGR valve and such. You get the idea. And then just take a screwdriver in here and pry these up, and then this will lift up, and then you can just pull this body out from the upper intake. Just get all that stuff out of the way. Alright, so here we have our basic electrical connections. The great thing about these connectors are they will only go in one place. So finding out where they go is pretty easy, actually. So there's that one, and here's this. Next thing I'm going to do, I'll let you get an idea of what all these are and how they look. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get a 15mm socket and push down on the tensioner and remove the serpentine belt, so that way I can take out the alternator. It's got this plug in here that pops out, and then there's another bolt in the back. It's a 13mm that holds on the nuts for the main power cable, and of course you'll want to take off your battery post before you do any of that. So I'm going to remove this negative post and move on from there. Okay, as you can see, the serpentine belt is off. If you need an accessory route to know how it goes on there, here is the diagram for the serpentine belt. Next comes off the alternator. So there's a 10mm this 13 millimeter here in the back where the main power goes from, and then there's a 13 here and a 15 down here, and that will let the alternator come off of there. And then I'm also going to take off this bolt that holds this on and just set that out of the way. Alright, as you can see, I've got the alternator off there. Again, it was 13 millimeters in the front and the back. I thought that was a 15, however, it's a 13. I'm going to need to remove this bracket here to give me some extra clearance to pull this up and out back here. It should be a 15 millimeter down here, right down there, and another one right there. See? Let's see. I've got this EGR purge valve cylinder sitting off to the side. I'm going to go ahead and right now take off these spark plug wires. As you can see, the coils are kindly labeled. It's 6 and 3, 2 and 5, and 4 and 1. And the firing cylinders for this is 2, 4, 6, 1, 3, 5. So 2's closest, 4's in the middle, 6 is in the back. Then it's 1 in the front, 3 in the middle, 5 in the back. So let's take these off here. Pop this off. 6, 2, and 4. Get off there. Alright, now I can just set off to the side so I can lift that up and out. Very good. So, I reckon I'll take off that bracket here. Be careful not to damage this plastic elbow here unless you plan to replace it anyway. Well, everyone, it looks like I'm in luck. There's some plastic elbows that go behind this bracket here, and mine was completely broken off there, and that is where it was leaking from. So it doesn't look like it was my, whoops, came out now. So it does not appear as it was my intake manifold gasket after all, which is awesome because that's not a fun job to do. However, I'm going to replace these and put it all back together and cross my fingers and hope for the best of luck, because everything else ran just great with this car. It's just getting hot because it's not building pressure. So let's replace these and put it back together and see if it's just these elbows from this bracket going into the intake and the water pump. Huh. Cool. Alright, here are all the chunks and pieces and O-rings and stuff that I pulled out of here. As you can see, it came out in pieces. There's one of the holes right there, and then the other one is back there. See that? Right there. That one. Got it all cleaned out. And let's flip this side over, and there's one here. And then there's another one down here, and I got them both cleaned out. May need to go over it a little bit more, but that's how it looks, as if it was on the engine and everything. These elbows, I guess, tend to deteriorate, which makes sense because they're plastic on a metal engine, and enough heat, cold cycles are bound to crack and have to be replaced. So I'm going to get them replaced, put it all back together, cross my fingers and hope for luck, and I think that should be it. So there it is. Alright, so I've got the replacement parts here. I'm going to put a little bit of grease around the O-ring so they'll slide in good whenever I'm pressing them in, and hopefully this will alleviate the massive loss of coolant that I've had since I've owned this car. Well, all of maybe 4 hours now. So I'm going to replace these plastic ones with some pieces I got from AutoZone. They were $12 for the pair, so I didn't think that was too bad. And they're not plastic, they're aluminum. Sweet. So I'd advise to get the aluminum, just upgrade and never have to replace this again. At least you shouldn't, and trust me, this isn't something that you'd want to have break out in the middle of nowheresville. So I'm going to put these on and we'll hopefully fix my problem. Alright, I got that bracket on there. Started the 2 bolts, the one down there and then the other one down there. Got them put on. This one here. And then after the alternator's on this one. Here's the third one that holds that on. Got the alternator on with that one, and then the back one. And then I gotta attach the 13mm nuts that hold the power wire on there. I'm gonna put the serpentine belt on, hook up all these electrical connections, and fire it up. And you can see some of the remnants of my old piece that I replaced. And here's the new one there. And I don't know if you can see back in there. All right, let's keep on working on this thing. I want to get it back on the road and see how it does. All right, here it is up and running again. It was those plastic elbows, and turns out they tried to fix the thermostat at one point, but gummed it up so bad with the silicone and everything, it wasn't going to open. So I took the thermostat out just to check it and everything. Just 3 bolts, that one on top, that one, and then the one down here. To remove that, and took this out, and now it's running fine. I'm going to put another one in there and get a new pressure relief valve up here, because I had to tweak the little tongs on it to get it to seal on there good. So I'm going to get a new one of those, a new serpentine belt, and one of these, and I should be in business. Don't see any more leaks now. Also had to tighten up the coolant temperature sensor just a little bit, because it was dripping out a little bit, but we got it working now, thank goodness. Not overheating or anything, staying right there at the 210 mark. Not bad for what I gave for it. It's got 191 on the miles, and gave $250 for this thing. So, and no lift or tap either, which is nice for these 3800s. Maybe it was replaced at one time, but either way, we're going to get this put back in there and new one installed. We'll be in business. Awesome. Works just fine. Okay, so that's basically it. I got everything fixed. I'll go over an overview of everything that I did to fix the cooling problem on this 2001 Camaro. There are bypass hoses right down here, as you can see, and then up over underneath the pulley back down in here, underneath there, that connect this bracket here to it connects to the engine and allows coolant to flow through there. And those plastic ones will break and get brittle over time and deteriorate and fail. So I got some aluminum ones and replaced those and slid right in there, no problem, as you've seen earlier in the video. The other thing that I did pull out the thermostat here in order to get that out. All I had to do is remove that one bolt up here in the top, and then the 2 bolts right here that let this piece here slide up and out of the way. Check the thermostat. Whoever had it before me put so much silicone in there, which you don't even need to use silicone, that it wouldn't let the thermostat open up, causing it to overheat, which probably blew those pipes out. So, or they had a leak and they thought that was it. However, it was not. The other thing I did was down here, one of those like crimp clamps had lost its tension, and I just replaced it with an alligator clip. I got the piece over here. So all in all, it was a pretty quick fix on this $250 2001 Camaro. All running great now, no codes, no missing out. The security light, however, was on it. So what tends to happen is inside the tumblers and where it meets a resistance for the VAT system, the vehicle anti-theft system, I just wasn't reading the correct resistance in there, so I just wired in a couple of resistors and bypassed the security light. The computer thinks it's reading the correct resistance, and now I can just install any key that fits the grooves inside the tumblers and everything inside the lock. So that'll be in another video, so check that out. I'm sure I'll have some more videos of this car coming up. So this is what fixed my overheating issue. No more overheating. The fan kicks on and off, turns off. The fan relays are down here too. So sometimes you can switch the horn and the fan relay. Sometimes they go bad. Another thing to keep in mind if your fan isn't kicking on. The thermostat on this is located, the thermostat sensor is located right underneath here. I also replaced the serpentine belt as well. So all in all, right now, this $250 car is now about a $400 car. I'm going to try and keep it under $600 or $700 after it's all titled, plated, registered, gassed up, and legal, ready to go, and dependable. So I think that's a pretty good goal. Got to replace the brakes on this thing, but I think it's probably time for to do that too. Alright, got any questions? Leave me a comment in the comment section down below, and I will help you fix your car.